Okay, I've got a few things going on here. The first thing is I just got one can of this stuff, and it's just foam filler. I've got several projects to do with one can, so I have to get all the projects ready at one time. Otherwise, I waste, over half a can, which I've done several times. It's just like little projects I got going on. You're going to run into little stuff. I've got to do a group mount, and this walleye has got to be part of it. And right now, it is so heavy, I have a hard time lifting it. It's literally, I think it's full of concrete or something. I'm not sure what they used, but it's extremely heavy. What it is, it's a walleye, and it needs fin repair, but I've got to lighten him up. And I've run into this before. So I've got the wood piece there, so I'm going to salvage that and reuse it. But my goal right now is to get all that concrete out of it and lighten him up at least half as light as he is right now. If I can do that, I'll be good. Now here's something else I got to do. With that same can of foam, I've got 5 or 6 of these. I ordered them off of Amazon. And what it is they're stamps. They come out of Asia, but it's a bluegill. You're supposed to put ink on this and then mash it down on a piece of paper and come out with a fish. And it's real flimsy, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do is get a piece of wood, put it back there, cover this with foam, and then just make it roughly look like the other side of the fish, the side that's going to be up against the wall. And the foam itself will strengthen it up. And I'm thinking of putting a hardener over the top of it. Maybe Envirotex or something maybe will work. I don't know. I've never tried that, but I've got some. So I know foam is going to stiffen it up on the other side. I'm even going to put some on the fins. And I'm going to try to install an eye on there. So I've got my work cut out for me. Can't do anything about that fin there. So that's just kind of what I got going on. Then I'll put a good paint job on it and it'll just make it look as good as I can. Them fins, unfortunately, they're up against the body as well. So now I may cut those off. I've got plenty of fins, extra fins. So I've got some work cut out for me, if I even do use these. There's reproductions real cheap for sale. You can get them off of eBay. There's one right now for like $30 or something. So I'm just tinkering around. I've got like four or five, I think, something like that. But yeah, they just, that's all. So I'm going to try to do that. And then I've got several projects just tinkering around. I've done this before. What it is they mount them with this material that's, my God, it's too heavy. Even mache, can get too heavy on a bass that's like, I guess, like over 3 pounds, they say. I think it's 3 or 5 or something like that. And what it is, they get so heavy, if you don't find a stud, you're hurting. They sewed instead of, they didn't do the staple technique, they did the sew technique. Yeah, that's some hard stuff, whatever it is. So it's coming up. I just gotta, I know where the seam's at. Well, I've also got what's called like a reverse curve mount. I really don't like reverse curve mounts at all. A lot of times I think the taxidermist fudged up maybe and bought the wrong form facing the wrong way or something. And, like it's supposed to be this way, but maybe he already skint the fish out and this is the side that's supposed to be up against the wall. They call it reverse curves, but I just don't like them at all because it's part of the fish you can't see. It's just I don't care much for them, but it is what it is. I'm going to put a paint job on it. But now this thing, I don't think it even has a piece of wood in it. They used foam. They either carved a body or ordered a body. It looks like they carved one. It has no wood in it. But that's going to be a simple fix. I'm just going to cut out a place and put a block of wood in there. And glue it in. And then doctor up this seam. This is just like little odds and ends stuff you do, with fish. Concerning like fish mounts. Sometimes they're old fish mounts. Got this one off of eBay. It's an old brook trout. It's missing a fin. That's nothing. I can put another one of those on. So it's just got to be doctored up a little bit, and I'll end up putting a paint job on this, and I'll try to put it on video. I've painted a couple of fish already. Put them all right. No, well, I've got one on right now, but all this, a lot of times I see what looks like almost like black green or something going down through here. So I don't think it'd be wrong to use black green, but I don't want to lose these marks. All the marks, they just happen to be in the right place. That's a good thing about a real fish. The marks are, Mother Nature's not wrong. The markings, they're always in the right place. And when you do an artificial one, you got to put everything in, which is not too terribly bad. But I can see the striations on top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken those up with white. But that's later when I'm painting. And clarify my marks, and I can determine how I'm going to darken all this. Like with black, green, or what, or just leave it like it is. Some people leave it like it is. Like doing a tinning method. So I've got a few options there. I'll have to card this fin here. See, it's kind of broken at the end, which happens a lot. You'll get fish off eBay that are damaged, and you just got to fix them up and everything. But this one needs a wood piece. It doesn't even have a wood piece in it. And sometimes you'll get replicas that way. You'll get replicas that don't even have a piece of wood in it. And I've actually had to cut out a piece and put a piece of wood in a replica before, which isn't fun really. But sometimes you got to do that stuff. People skimp on their fishes in certain ways, and you gotta doctor them up sometimes, before you give them to the customer, which is unfortunate. But sometimes you got to do it. Making progress. Got the piece of plywood out of it. So that's a start. This is on the back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out. I'm just going to... Really, the only option I have is to try to get it to where it'll come out. All the skin is loose. It's loose. See, all the skin is just real loose. So it'll come out. I just gotta have to break it in strategic places. I'm gonna make another incision right here below the gill. It's on the back side anyway. I hate doing it. It's the only way I'm gonna get this thing out. I can't burn my drill up just trying to get this cement out or whatever, plaster, whatever they use. I think they just use plaster without mache, but it's hard as a rock and it's heavy. See, it just breaks loose. This is all going to be on the back anyway. May have to bust some stuff loose down here in the gullet area. Anything beats having something 20 pounds, on the wall, All that's loose. All that's loose. Just free it up around the tail here. I'm just going to make it where it drops out. That's what I got to do. This stuff is stout. Can't even drill into it. I'll get back with you once I make a little progress on it. I was hammering on the tail and actually cracked some of this stuff. And that's always a plus. Look at that. Hard as a rock. Harder than a rock. It's outrageous. Now I should be able to break that other stuff loose. I may have to break it up around the head area though, which I haven't done. It'd be great if it just broke loose, but I doubt it. Man, it would be great. Don't get too carried away. On this side, right now it's still good. All I gotta do is a little bit of repair work right there, and this jaw I gotta fix it anyway. There's a good mount. It's just ungodly heavy, you know, too heavy. If I can get it to break loose, that'd be great, but yeah, there we go. It ain't perfect, but I can live with this. All right. Yeah. Look at that. Good God Almighty. It's heavy. It's like 15 pounds or something. See, now all this will go back together relatively easy. I may have to do a little bit of repair work, but I'll sheet some foam in there and get my wood piece. I'll just use the same wood piece. Use my expanding foam. Make sure everything's back like it was, and it'll be fine. Got a little super glue. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I may reinforce the head area with a little bit of Bondo, but you can see where I broke it right there. So I'm going to get a little super glue gel. Be great if you got it. But if you ain't, got to use what you got on hand. See, like right there's a piece that come off. And I'm just doing a little doctor work. Gonna doctor him up. All this, you know, it's skin. Skin sticks real good. This super glue is made just for this stuff. So it'll just push it back. I have to hold it for a second or something. Right here, here's a crack. Now, this is all, I'm going to smoothen all this over with caulk anyway. You know, to kind of make it look a little bit better. But if I can get a little bit of, if I push it in just a little, you know, I will. There, just hold that for a second. I'll just hold that for a second. Well, you can see where it's real cracked right in here. I'm going to put my super glue right on that skin. Where that seam is. Oh, let's see, all the way around. There we are. There we are, just like that. All that's lined up. Once it starts to dry, it'll hold. It's still skin. Main thing is we got that hard rock out there. It's going to be a lot lighter. Be a lot less headache. I'm going to let that dry for a while before I go any further on this thing. But yeah, that's kind of what I got. Well, that's kind of what we got. I'll do some repair work and fix that. Some of these strings that I snipped through, I get them out. I want to be easy with it. That's just what he used to sew it with. Strong string, that's for sure. I've got 3 pieces of plywood, kind of like right in the center. I think you kind of get what's going on now. I'm going to put that expanding foam on those and let it just kind of expand, and then I'm going to fill the wall up at the same time. Okay, I've got my expanding foam and my little thing that screws on the top, and it's a big gap filler, which means it's going to swell up a lot. So I'm going to shake it up real good. Guess I'll shake it for about a minute. Okay, I'm supposed to shake the can vigorously for 60 seconds. Okay, looks like you screw the thingamabob on there. I think I'm going to do this walleye first. You might want to start at the tail. Wow. The brain pin. Wow. I probably already put too much. Okay, that's known from past experience. You can put too much of this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna put some on these fish. I'm just clowning around. I don't know if this stuff's even gonna work. Okay. You know, you can always shave it down, so I'd rather have enough than not enough. You know, whoops. Here. But I know this stuff will grow more than what we even imagine that it will. So it's going to grow a lot more than we can even imagine right now. All this is going to stretch. I may have already put too much because this stuff expands. Now I've got my piece of wood. I'm going to go ahead and get that in there now. Kind of straighten it up. Get my screwdriver. Yeah, there we are. So it's got a piece of wood in it. Let's see, they put a little bit more on here. Places where I may have missed. Rather have too much than not enough. Let's see, a little bit on the tail. Been wanting to do this for a while. Just clowning around, seeing if I can make something worth looking at. I have a feeling I put too much already. We shall see. We'll let that swell up over the next little bit, and then I'll get back with you. Well, here's what I come out with. Wow. Super light though. Wow. That's what I wanted, super lightness. But as I figured, look how it come out. I might be able to work with it some. You know, it's definitely going to be on the wall side that's nobody's going to see. But look how it swelled out. I knew it was going to do that. I knew I shouldn't have put so much in it. But I just wanted to make sure it wasn't empty there and didn't have anything in it. This ought to just come right off. I ought to just break it off. Yeah, look at that. It's amazing how much it swells. It's unbelievable. I'll be able to use this, get some of this off. It's soft and spongy, you know. It's not like hard foam, but it doesn't have to be hard foam for what I used it for. I'm just cutting off that excess, which I knew I was going to have some. I'll lie to you there. My goodness. I don't know why there's a fin on this side anyway. It don't have to be there. It's up against the wall. It ain't got to be on there. There we are. I just fill all that with caulk. Oh gosh. I wonder if I can push it in. I doubt it, but let me try it. I doubt it. Okay, see, that just comes right back out. It's spongy. Yeah. That's there to stay, looks like. Oh well. That can come off. You get what I can. You can use your finger to get all this off. But I've used this stuff before and same results. There's a different brand, but yeah, same stuff. I always underestimate how much it's going to swell. So technically I should be able to put less than what I think I need to put. It should come out about right, but now the wood piece is right here somewhere in there. Don't tell them how deep it is. But this is what you're going to get. It's going to be up against the wall. Fins are going to be repaired. That seam right there is going to be fixed. The mouth, I may have to break it off and re-super glue it or something. I've got to figure out what I got to do. The end of the mouth is broke, in other words. You can see where it's broke. This is what happened to the fish. I don't think it's going to work. Bam. It didn't work. It didn't stick. So I can at least salvage the wood piece, use it on another fish, or if I can come up with some other idea. I hated doing that with the foam, but I guess that's a little bit slick or something, I guess. Or the foam didn't want to stick to it for some reason. But I'll save this wood piece and reuse it again on either this fish or another fish or something. There again, I was just piddling around. I saw it on Amazon. They were selling them real cheap. And I thought I'd see what I could do to put a paint job on one of these, because it looks like they used a real fish. So basically I'd be doing a reproduction, just putting a paint job on a reproduction. That's what I was hoping for. But it's too flimsy. I may find out some way to get rid of that flimsiness. I don't know. But until then, I'm not going to really mess with it. Don't have the time, really. But if y'all know any way that this could be used and hardened up, like maybe reinforce it with using something on the back or something, I'm sure I could put a good paint job on there and make somebody think it's a good looking fish, even though it's just a piece of rubber. That's just me tinkering around in the shop. Okay, got me, well, the longest screw I've got in the shop right now. I hope it's long enough is what I'm hoping. There it is. Yeah. I just, there we are. Now, we're going to have to strip this fish. I'm going to have to, fix that mouth, maybe glue it or break it off and re-glue it back on. Going to do some repair work right up in here. Doctor these fins up. Basically, recard it just like it was a new fish that had a lot of damage on his fins. And I've got a video on that. Just use caulk and a brush to make fin ray. Make the fin rays on a repaired fin. After you card the back with the cardboard. So it's the same thing. I'll probably strip it first. And, well, that fish is not alone. Yeah, this isn't the only fish I got to put a paint job on, after I repair the mouth and the fins, just like you do with pretty much anything else. Here's a smallmouth. A lot of dust on him. But I'm going to repaint him. Now, technically, I could paint him white and then put a paint job on him and not even have to worry about, stripping him down. I haven't done that. I'm debating whether I need to show y'all how to paint a smallmouth after you paint him white. It's doable. I've done it. Some of my best work has been that way. There's some neat colors that you can add that really make a smallmouth look pretty good. I may do that. I may paint this guy white and put a paint job on it just to show you that it can be done and how good they can look. But I'm debating that. If I do strip it, I got this and the walleye I've got to strip down. And I've also got these guys right here. They're ready to go. They've got the eyes already installed. The fins have been, repaired with caulking. And may have to do the seam on the back with something. But you can see they're ready to paint. One's a shell cracker. One's a bluegill. Pretty sure this is this is a shell cracker. And here's a big old bluegill. So these are ready to paint. I've got things to do. I've got plenty of work. I've got stripping, painting, debating on whether I'm going to strip the smallmouth and then put a new paint job on it, where the undertone skins show. Or I may just paint him white and do him from a solid white fish, which you can still do really good work. I mean, I've done it. But I may show you that. I may show you how to paint a smallmouth after painting him white first. That would be interesting. But that's kind of what I got in the shop. Smallmouth, stripping fish, a bluegill and shell cracker paint job that need to be done, which I got a good video on those. I've got a long ear sunfish I got to do. I got a pumpkin seed. I still got a lot of work to do. I've got a couple of birds to do. I've got one more turkey from last turkey season waiting on the head. And I've got a couple of mallards. He hadn't decided on the pose yet. So it's all in the day, working in the shop. Oh, I totally almost forgot. I also got to do a brown trout. And I'm debating. Am I going to paint it re-white or use some of the original color, which I can do. Just go over the spots again. But there's a lot of spots down here. I usually don't put that many spots down there. But I am debating. I may use some of the same spots and just add a little bit more color. I kind of like that silvery bluish color in the middle, which they're actually supposed to have. So I'm stuck between maybe using that paint job and then just enhancing it with my own paint job. Putting my own paint job, saving what's good, and painting over what's not good. I mean, yeah, you got options. I've done that before too, like paint over somebody else's paint job and add a little bit more to it if you think you need to. So, yeah, there's all kind. I may do that too. That'd be interesting. Just paint over somebody else's paint job and add a little bit more to it. Sometimes those guys help you out a little bit and you don't really realize it, but a lot of times they'll see things that you can't see and you may see things that they can't see, and a lot of times if it's done right, you can accentuate, a piece of artwork maybe, because you're kind of going off what somebody else done, but you're adding to it. And sometimes that works good.